Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda and Barker Kia.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bayou Time Sports. We are so fortunate in our area to have good high school football, and that leads to a lot of our guys in the area going on to get the opportunity to play at the collegiate level. Obviously, most of our collegiate players that house a lot of Bayou region kids is Nicholls State University, right? Because it's so close and it's in the middle of our Bayou region. But we do have some athletes who have decided to cast their lot to play college ball outside of the area, and we certainly want to keep an eye on them, as some of them, I think, are going to have the opportunity to play in the NFL at some point. First person we want to talk about is Chavez Brown. Chavez Brown from Terrebonne High School actually went on the junior college route right out of high school, then played for North Texas State last year, where he had a breakout year. He was really good for a pretty good North Texas State team. He decided to go into the transfer portal. When he's in the transfer portal, he is very highly sought by tons of schools. He decided he wanted to go out to the University of South Florida. So Chavez Brown, again of Terrebonne High School, is a graduate student at the University of South Florida playing his final year of eligibility. I mentioned that we may see some of these kids on the NFL level. This is one of those. He actually was a defensive back when he was in high school. So you know he has the speed and you know he has the agility. He got bigger. And when he got bigger, they moved him to that sort of roving outside linebacker position. And I think he could have a big year for South Florida this year. Chavez Brown, again, a Terrebonne High product. So if you happen to see South Florida on television, say on a Saturday, you might want to check in to see how Chavez is doing. Another kid who's doing extremely well over at McNeese State is Markel Price. Markel played in every game for the Cowboys last year as a junior. He played in that defensive backfield, actually had an interception. He started his college career at Nicholls State, but decided to transfer. I mean, if you're going to transfer and you want to go to a rival school, I guess McNeese State is the place you go. I expect that he'll be starting in that defensive backfield this year for Coach Viator over in Lake Charles. And again, we'll get to see him when they take on the Nicholls State Colonels. Guy a lot of people may have forgot about just a little bit. Caleb Billiard. Caleb Billiard of Terrebonne High School went straight to Louisiana Tech out of high school. He's now at Northwestern, and he is a senior. Last year as a junior, Caleb played in 10 of Northwestern's games and actually towards the end of the year became the starter at center for the Demons. We're going to see him also as they take on Nicholls State this year. But Caleb has gotten a little bigger than he was in high school, and he seems to be a leader. Everything you're hearing coming out of Natchitoches is that Caleb Billiard is one of those guys that they're really looking for to do big things for Northwestern. So congratulations to him. Again, we'll see him when they take on the Nicholls State Colonels later this year. Another guy, great year 2 years ago at Indiana was Jalen Lucas. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, wait a minute, Jalen didn't actually finish at one of our Bayou region high schools. He is from Houma. He did in his senior year transfer to Edna Carr because we had Hurricane Ida, if you remember back to that. But Jalen Lucas obviously is one of our Bayou region products. At Indiana, he was named to the all Big 10 conference team. He was a great returner for the Hoosiers there, and he decided that he wanted to go into the portal. He was picked up immediately by Florida State, where his brother Ja'Kai Douglas was playing. And last year started off like a ball of fire. Had two great games for Florida State, and then he got hurt and was put on the shelf. This year they're expecting really big things from Jalen over in Tallahassee, as he is a junior wide receiver for Florida State. Moving on, let's go to Shaz Preston. Tulane University. He was at Alabama for the prior couple of years, but decided that he wanted to get in the transfer portal and he is our lone representative from the Bayou region that plays over at Tulane. Shaz is a terrific wide receiver from Thibodaux, played his high school ball over at St. James. A lot of people know his dad, Sean, who is the assistant principal over at H.L. Bourgeois, and his older brother actually coaches here in our local area after a very good career at Mississippi State. So we hope that we see Shaz a whole lot on the field for the Green Wave this upcoming season. And then some guys who are a little bit younger, but we'll see how it pans out. Freshman redshirt, Kalen Billiard is now going to be in that number as a wide receiver for LSU. He had a little time to mature last year as a redshirt. Moving in this year, a good room for wide receivers over at LSU, but I think Colin could be a guy who really helps out that wide receiver room. Moving on. Here we go. Next slide. Teddy Golick. I know a lot of people forgot about Teddy. Teddy actually played over at Vanderbilt Catholic, was a really good quarterback / tight end. He got in quarterback when they got in a Wildcat a lot for Vanderbilt Catholic. He left and went to IMG Academy over in Florida and then was picked up by the University of Louisiana. He is a redshirt freshman tight end, and he is actually in a reserve role this year, but he is a guy who is going to be the first one off the bench. So we hope we see Teddy a whole lot on the field for the Raging Cajuns. And finally, true freshman Tyron Winslow is at SMU. Defensive lineman from H.L. Bourgeois, big defensive lineman, folks. He's got the look, dare I say, a little bit like Mason Smith. We hope it works out for him as he is a true freshman over at SMU. All of our Bayou region kids who are now playing at D1 schools around the country. Got to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more sports here on Bayou Time Sports.
This segment was brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda and Barker Kia.